We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. Cause Kristin knows blank.
Well, that's fair. Welcome to the podcast. It's November 4th, 2020, the day after the biggest presidential election in the history of mankind. I don't know what happened. I'm recording this the day before, November 3rd, so I have no idea. I'm actually recording this so that I don't freak out and watch the news. So, whether you're happy today or sad today, or we don't know what's happened today, or maybe today's just a great day to listen to a podcast, guess what? This is a podcast. Or it's your inner child that sounds a lot like me. You should have a candy bar. Anyway, welcome to the show. If you're listening, thank you so much for listening. If you don't mind, take a second to like, subscribe, follow, depending on the platform you're on. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Google Podcast and YouTube now. So make sure and subscribe. This is a young podcast, and I wanted to grow legs and crawl and fly and every metaphor. So take a minute to support the podcast. Also, I'm Kristin Key. I'm the host. I'm a comedian. I'm a musician. I'm a Libra. Hi. You can find me at kristinkey.com and become my friend on social media. I put up videos. I go live on Fridays, and we can be friends. And if our politics disagree, maybe we can unfriend and block each other very soon. Anyway, I've got a great show today. If you've never heard the show, it's real simple. I have a guest. We have a chat, and then we play a rad lib. It's a lot like a Mad Lib, but I write it, and I don't want to get sued by Mad Libs. So, my guest today is fantastic. We're going to talk a little bit about the politics, just a little bit. And usually I don't talk politics because I feel like my hair is political enough for the both of us. But 'tis the season. And it's kind of what my guest wanted to talk about. And that's how this show rolls. I'm not going to get serious because this is a comedy podcast at heart. So always remember, there will be laughs. So hang in there. But before I introduce my guest, I am going to tell a quick personal story regarding the election. I did not vote for Senor Trump. I did not. And there's a laundry list, a very long laundry list. But the main one for me is we are in the middle of a global pandemic right now that I was on the ship that brought it ashore. I know that we didn't bring it, but I was on the Grand Princess cruise ship. I was the guest entertainer, the stand-up comedian. What is the word? I haven't been a comedian on a cruise ship in so long. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, I was the comedian on board the Grand Princess cruise ship. Our ship came down with COVID. It was sad. It was scary. They closed the buffet. But it was very scary. And for 6 days we floated around the San Francisco harbor because, nobody knew what to do with us. We were just kind of doing donuts out there and, looking for any sort of reassurance. I watched the news every day because our captain wasn't getting any information. And also I like to watch the news when I'm on a cruise ship because sometimes Rachel Maddow is the only other lesbian on board, even though she lives in my TV. Anyway, the president came on one day and he said, regarding my ship, he said, if it were up to me, I'd just leave him out there because I don't want my numbers to go up because I know they're going to bring him in and it's cool. They're going to do what they're going to do. But if it was up to me, I'd leave him out there because my numbers double and I don't want my numbers to double because of one ship. And I don't think he understands the power that his words have because when I heard that, it was the day that I broke down in tears on that cruise ship. And it's a day in this pandemic that it's not like the only day that I cried because I cry all the time in pandemic, but it was like the first. And, it was to know that nobody's coming to help you and that the president, who I grew up in the 80s when, USA, the president does not give a shit about you. And so that was, this election became very real to me and very important back then. But the election's over now and who knows what happened. So my guest today, I'm so excited. She's a hilarious comedian. She's one of my favorites. She's a voiceover actress. And she's going to talk to me today about inside the mind of rural America, which I'm so excited to hear about. I'm fascinated by her story. Anyway, this is my interview with comedian Mary Mack. Mary Mack, thank you for joining me on my podcast today. I'm so excited to have you on.
I'm excited to be here. It, I have not done a lot of podcasts during the pandemic, like other folks have. I've done one where they write bits with you on your premise. I actually never ask anybody what their podcasts are
What's it called? Oh, you're on the Mary Mack Sucks podcast. I hate to tell you. Uh-oh. That brings me to my first question. Why do you suck so hard, Mary?
This is the third time I got suckered into doing Mary Mack Sucks. Gosh darn it.
Womp womp. She keeps falling for it.
Yeah. But you said I have to tell you what I'm an expert in.
You surprised me because I asked you what are 3 things that you would consider yourself an expert on. And I really thought they were going to be different because I know you. And you just gave me one thing repeatedly. Yes, you were like, I am an expert at thinking like a rural person. And I was like, aren't you like crafty? And like, you were like, I think like I know what the rural. And so that became the topic today. And I just want to ask you right off the bat, where do you live? Like, how rural are you?
Yeah, well, most of this summer, I am from a very rural area. And in the summertime, normally that's a little slower for me in comedy. And if I'm fortunate enough to have had a good rest of the year, I usually go up north to northern Wisconsin for most of the summer. And actually this year, because of unfortunate situations, I was up there most of the summer, and in a town of, it's not incorporated. I think there's maybe about 50 to 100 full-time people that live there.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's rural.
It's pretty rural, and we otherwise that's 4 hours about north of the Twin Cities in Wisconsin. And then there's a layover on the drive at my mom or my sister's house they live in the town where I grew up. So I was born in Minnesota, but I grew up in Wisconsin, and I'm back in Minnesota. So my residence is Minneapolis, but most of the summer I was in a camper with no running water. I could probably count the number of showers I've had this summer under a faucet on less than my 2 hands, because most of my showers were either in a lake or I would boil some water and sit in a dish pan.
So you're like a pioneer woman at this point.
Well, I don't want to be. I was up there the whole summer because I was like, you know what? My mom let me take over the campland. This is going to be the first year where all the old people don't have to squat in the woods. We're not going to keep this illegal satellite toilet on our property anymore. We keep getting air patrolled for this satellite toilet, this pooper pumper, right?
Wait. I just need you to translate every bit of what you just said.
Oh man. Well, it's a porta potty. It's just like at Bonnaroo or something. We keep getting aerial patrolled because they're like, you got to get rid of that porta potty.
It's illegal to have a porta potty on your land?
Yeah, you can't have it as long. We've had it for at least 8 years, and you're supposed to have it for like a festival. And I'm like, this is the longest festival of all time. And then we also got aerial patrolled because we had too many campers on our land, and because we share it with my Uncle Jim. And
How many campers did you have?
Every county is different, Kristin. And I used to try to do a
Give me a number, Mary. Just give me a number.
Okay, now let's reverse the roles here.
You are going to be a politician, aren't you?
I would like to be a politician. I got to tell you, in Bayfield County, Wisconsin, on 40 acres of land where you have, say, about 2 acres cleared for mowing, basically, just because you feel guilty not mowing when you're on vacation. Okay, let's say on that property, 40 acres, about 2 acres cleared, how many RV campers do you think you can have year round on that land in Bayfield County, Wisconsin?
On 40 acres.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of how big an acre is. So 40 campers.
You would think.
All right. Yeah. All right.
You
Good
would
guess.
think.
A
But
camper an
it's
acre.
actually 4 because
What?
yep, beyond 4 yeah, that's our cousins and my sister and sibling. You can only have 4 year round because
That's
more,
hogwash.
more than that you have to apply for a campground license.
Wow.
So I vote in Minnesota, but I have dreams. Maybe I used to think they were, what do you call it, delusions of grandeur. But after Trump was president, I'm like, no, this is actually a viable option for me. Um, they, I have dreams of getting my address back to Wisconsin because they need me more than Minnesota needs me to, because I can think like I'm from there, so I know how people think, right? Like we have a U.S. House of Representatives race up in District 7, which in Wisconsin, it's gerrymandered like worse than a jigsaw puzzle, you know?
Okay.
And it's a huge area of land. And there is a woman running who is very qualified, Tricia Zunker. She's running as Democrat. It's in Minnesota, it's DFL, but there's Democrat. And she's running against a guy named Tom Tiffany, who won in the special election, but they have to go at it again November 3rd. And I even wrote her campaign. I even emailed her off of her website because I want her to win so badly because we need our lakes and we need some help up there. And I'm really afraid she's not going to win because she looks too fancy. And
That's what I was gonna ask you. What are the issues of because I did some research on Wisconsin as a voting state, which is quite a swing state, really polarized, split right down the middle right now. And what are the issues seem to be definitely different than here in Los Angeles, but you do understand the average Wisconsinite. So
yeah.
what are your issues?
Well, see, up north it's different than down in Madison. Like we up north, we only got Minnesota channels up north, and until cable came in, it was a pretty blue area for voting. But now there's cable and there's some internet. Like where my mom and my sister live, you still can't watch a video on the internet, right? Because there's no high-speed internet. It's insane. Like,
Wow.
pretty sure Montana gets high-speed internet. I mean, like,
Pretty sure.
I mean, in cities, right? In towns. But this is part of the problem because like banks are closing. They're closing their rural branches, thinking people can just go online and do their banking, right? But they don't. I'm angry about it. And I'm always like, this is why people vote for Trump, just because they're angry and they associate progress such as online banking with the believers in science, which is insane to even say that phrase, which is the Democratic Party. So the more of these things happen, the more they're going to vote for nut jobs like Trump because we just feel so left out. And even just I've been up there all summer trying to remodel this pole barn, right? And
I'm sorry.
yeah. So this is.
I'm just gonna, whenever we need to define terms, it's important. A pole barn now?
Yeah. So the pole barn is maybe, I don't know if there's another word for it out in California, but it's like a metal structure that's basically a barn. It's like a garage, or they can style them specifically for goats or cattle or just
Okay.
cows, horses. It's a pole. It's supported by columns, poles, and it's a metal structure, and it can be a garage style. There's loads of them up there
Google
because
it.
there's like boats. You know, people store their boats in them, and they can get them pretty high. But so we're
Oh, okay, I'm
remodeling
looking at
this.
one right now. Okay, pole barn.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
from Northland Builders back in like 2000. That was about when it was built there. So we took it over and we're remodeling it to live in it. Now, up there, because of policies made in Madison, way down south for us, um, there's only one plumber left. Like for his, there's seriously like you can't get anything done because they passed these rules in our state capital that affect us. There's such little population up there that you wait months and months and months for services. Like this is why we have no running water still. I think it might be I got a note from the plumber who said he was up there, so I'm hoping we go drive up there and it works. But we're because of these policies, it severely affects what how people live and what they can get done in less populated areas, because there was only one guy out of all the plumbers that was qualified for the new tests they created and the new licensure they created in
Who
Madison.
put these policies in play? Was this a?
That's a great question. I got to research that. If I want to win U.S. House of Representatives for
Yes.
District 7 in Wisconsin, I, it's the it all has to do with the Uniform Dwelling Code for our state, but I'm not sure who specifically suggests and votes on these policies. So
'Cause
I got
someone's not looking out for
the
the
rural folks.
the rural folks.
Yeah, and yeah,
Because it seems like because you don't make up a large population, you don't seem to matter as
yeah.
voters.
Yeah, but those are the people that get a little kooky and they make giant signs, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
big time.
those people get a little off the rails and show up at probably not that I haven't heard of anybody doing this from that district because they're all generally very nice people, but they often will. What I can see happening is these people getting angry enough and showing up like that nut job kid and his mom down in
Right,
Sheboygan who are like, we're gonna go take care of the problem, right?
right,
Like,
right.
like this is what happens when you ignore even a small population, and and it's really under my skin. It's really bothering me.
You were mentioning that you understand like the way that rural voters think. I wanted to ask you because I keep hearing the term the radical left, the radical left.
Mhm.
What does that mean to because you were mentioning things even like doing away with more districts, banks, and things like that. What is that fear of the radical left? What does that encompass? You
Right.
know, because it gets tossed around a lot. Like beware of the radical left; they're coming. What is it that's so scary about the radical left? Is it progress itself, or is it very specifically like abortion
I
and
think it means something, and I think that's why it's ingenious. It's a crazy effective propaganda because the radical left, all that means to somebody now that they have cable up there and they can get Fox News, all that radical left means is whatever you're afraid of. That's the boogeyman, right? Like we all had
yeah,
a different version of the boogeyman when we were kids. Like, what is the boogeyman? I heard some gal in the moth telling what her every sibling in her family thought the boogeyman was something different. That's the beauty of it. The radical left is just your fear. That's all it is. So I really don't know because I have been a little bit out of the experiment to know. But if you go to 10 people up there and ask them what is the radical left, they'll all have a different answer. I guarantee it. And some of them, I don't know, and it's not all of them. I mean, it used to be it was awesome before cable came in. Everybody was like, nobody voted. People are voting like they're cheering for football teams now, right? Like they just pick a
Right.
side.
They want to
and
win. Yeah.
Yep, they just cheer for a side, no matter if it's good for them or not. And so I don't know, it's just a real problem with the propaganda. I mean, they're geniuses at it. The Republicans are geniuses at branding things to sound like they will help you. Like this whole Citizens United. Like, oh, that sounds fantastic, actually. We would all love to be united. But,
Right.
look what that does. Or the right to work state. That sounds fantastic. We all want the right to work, right? But they don't know we want the right to work without protections for lower wages.
Right.
So, like, if you went and, oh, here's a perfect example. George W. Bush, the Blue Sky Act was like, Blue Sky Act sounds fantastic. That we all love blue sky. It got rid of environmental protections. So it's like the total opposite of what it says, but you don't have that's how they are so smart. Like scientists shouldn't be naming things like the name global warming. People don't believe in it because not everywhere it's not getting warm everywhere.
Right.
So like scientists should never be in charge of naming things. Like they're doing a horrible job, but they're doing great at their science, but they're just not good at marketing, and
They're not
neither
selling
are
it to the
Democrats
average
aren't
person.
either. So why I think this man Tom Tiffany, who will be very bad for our district, he's already voted against um, pre-existing conditions. He's voted against the Affordable Care Act, and he wants to knock it down, of course. And then all those people are going to lose there because not hardly anybody in a rural area doesn't have a pre-existing condition. So he's going to, he's voting away our environmental protections, and big agriculture will come in and ruin the lakes and whatnot. So we really need this Trisha Zunker to win. But you go on Tom Tiffany's website, first picture of him is in a mom and pop Wisconsin bar.
Yeah.
So for the folks that do lean conservative and they have access to the internet and they go on there and look at it, if they were undecided, they're decided because you go to Trisha Zunker's website, her front page is her in a blazer, and it's just like very professional photo for a lawyer, but that's
Right.
not what people relate to. And why is it taking so long for Democrats to realize that a picture is so much more effective than a dissertation on your website? Like it's the photos that are the first thing. A picture speaks 1,000 words, and it's so true. And this is why we're losing.
I know, but I guess maybe there's this like hesitation to want to use propaganda because it seems like dirty pool, even though it's very effective. But it's like,
But a photo, she could go into a bar and be sociable with people.
She could be holding a shotgun too and get lots of votes.
Totally. That's what Tim and I are always like, let's just hold the gun out there. And it totally is like, if you're voting Democrat or you're voting Republican, there's not really anybody who doesn't have a gun in northern Wisconsin, because
or Minnesota,
because it's hunting season. And I think it's selfish to own a lot of guns like that are meant for killing people and not deer, or like if you're on a farm and one of your animals is suffering, you need to be able to put that animal out of its misery, like you don't want to wait 2 days while this thing is in severe pain. This animal's in severe pain for a mobile vet, or to somehow haul this animal in. You want to be able to put this animal out of its misery.
Certainly in farm country, people have guns on farms.
Right. We don't need people killers, but you need something for the necessities in a rural area.
Yeah.
So for her to hold up a gun or just to say, yeah, we do hunt. It's not, she needs to see what we get everything done at a bar because you don't even get cell service. So you go to the bar and you talk to people at happy hour. In this pandemic, it's hard to do that. A lot of people there, I mean, yeah, we didn't go to any bars this year, which was probably one of the reasons our plumbing took so long. Because you meet people there and it's your networking and it's the Facebook. You say, who takes care of this stuff? And this is how things get done. And it's your community center. And so it's just bothersome to me that nobody is there to consult. I mean, like her first picture, she has some pictures of her with a farmer on the second page of her website, but she's still wearing a business
blazer.
I just really want to do something about it,
I think that's the problem with getting a little bit older too. It's like you see how things used to be, or you see how things are changing and not in a good way. And I don't like paying attention to things. Like I used to be a drunk and I never watched the news, and my head was kind of buried in the sand, and now I'm seeing all of it, and it's not fun. It's not fun to be woke or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it isn't fun. I know I used to just play classical music. And that's how I escaped. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I'd get out of my 8 hours of practice room time in college, and people would be like, yeah, that tsunami in Japan, right? That huge that huge earthquake in Japan. Like, what earthquake? Like, I wouldn't know anything, but that was that was a pleasant way to live, but I don't really know if it's so scary. You know what I think is going to happen is that on election night, unfortunately, the first one to declare victory will probably be the winner, despite any real tabulations or correct counts. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. I got this really sad. I need to be positive more. I don't
It's
know.
okay. Well, I mean, it always ends in a Mad Lib, so it will get picked up.
Oh gosh, thank goodness.
Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. It will end in a Mad Lib, and I don't know. It's like it is overwhelming when you think about what could happen, and yet at the same time, it's like throughout history, it's like, well, what did the Jews do? It's like what. How do you keep your spirits up when everything seems awful? And it's like, I guess you just remember, like, for me, it's like, is the ocean still flowing in and out? Okay, well then everything's okay. There's some things that like Trump can't control. There are some things that are bigger than the government. There are some things that are bigger than, that all this is kind of nonsense. And it will
the whole Gone with the Wind thing. How did she say? What was that line? Tomorrow is another day, or I forget.
Right.
Just the point that he can't control the sun yet. Although I'm sure they're trying.
I always think about Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. He's trying to block out the sun. Oh God.
Yeah, wow. He's like a really overweight Mr. Burns.
It's like an overweight Mr. Burns. How many campers did you have on that land?
Okay, there were 6.
Okay. That's not crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad we got back to what's important.
We got very distracted by little stuff like president.
Yeah, so there were 6, and then my sister found a place for her, so that was good. And then my mom, we had this camper that was called the Packer Mobile, and it was really a funny thing because when my dad retired, and I guess they both retired at the same time, basically, he decided they needed a camper to drive around in, and my mom she's born. They're both born in Minnesota, and they're both from the Duluth, Minnesota area. But my dad converted quickly to the Packers, and my mom didn't. She stayed with the Vikings, and he knew this, and he went and he bought about 10 miles, 12 miles away in Danbury. There was a priest who was selling a Packer, big Packer helmet on the top, like just Packer decals all over this RV. And I don't even think he negotiated. I think he just was like, yeah, Janice is gonna hate this. And so he got that thing, and then I was just stunned because one day they live up this driveway and you can't see any of the cars until you get up onto up the hill, right? But this RV camper was so tall that you could see that big Packer helmet emblem like way before you saw their house or before you.
Oh my God!
So that's what they got, and it was kind of junked out because they had an alcoholic son living in it, and so she found a guy who instead of just coming and taking it away and selling it for scrap, he was this is how low the bar is in Wisconsin. He was willing to give her $400 for it and take it away. And I'm like, you made money on that thing? Insane. Yeah, she did well. She did
Packermobile, man.
Yeah. So that was a kind of a good ending, and it was meaningful. It was the first thing my mom did on her own after my dad passed away. Like the first thing that she was like in charge of, handled it well, got things done. It kind of like gave her the confidence to be able to like manage on her own, was like getting rid of that pissed up Packer mobile. So, yeah, she was really proud, and I was really proud of her too for doing it. So, I mean, she had been her whole life on mom duties, right? Because she had 6 kids, so it was hard to.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you were one of 6.
Yeah, so it was a lot of just momming.
Wow.
Not
good
so
for
much.
her.
Yeah, she's a tough broad.
And good for whoever bought a Packermobile for $400. It seems like a steal.
Yeah, if you can get the smell out of it.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Mary Mack, I have enjoyed thoroughly talking to you about your expertise, but now it is my favorite part of the show. This is where I talk you into playing a rad lib. For copyright reasons, I'm not calling it a mod lib anymore. Yeah, we're going to call it a rad lib. So here's what I've done.
Can I time out you?
Yeah.
Okay, you are so good at this, Kristin. You just let your guests talk. That's the sign of a good host. You don't keep interrupting the guest. You just let the guest go on and see what you can mine out of it. And you take a snippet from earlier and bring it back around and make it into a complete conversation and a complete show. Your wife was really smart to tell you already had a podcast.
Oh, my wife's a TV producer. Thank you. I will tell her you said hi. She's at work today. She's making a food show right now, but she is so smart. And every time I tried to like veer off and I was like, maybe I should make a podcast about this, she was like, you already have one. I was like, I don't know if people want to hear about. She's like, and so she was right. So thanks for saying that. She was right.
You have good talent for it. So.
Oh, thanks. I'm enjoying it. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, ready. Ready for a rad lib.
Okay, here's what happened. I wrote a story specifically for you, but I left out some parts of speech. If you give me those parts of speech together, we're going to make a hilarious story. Are you ready to play?
I was hoping to play this before you even started it. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
All right. I need a political office.
Comptroller. I don't even really know what they do. I'm sorry to admit that.
I don't either. I had an audition once where at the end I had to say, I'm a comptroller and proud of it. And I kept saying like, isn't that a made up job? And they were like, no. And I'm like, because I'm a comptroller. And I didn't get the part because I'd never heard it. Comptroller. Then I saw the commercial and the lady said it like it was real. And I was like, oh, that's why they gave it to her.
Oh boy. oversees the accounting and financial reporting procedures of an organization. So I guess I kind of knew that already. Yeah, reports to the chief financial officer, the president, or the chief executive officer. They manage all accounting transactions, budget, and loan activity. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
All right, I need a plural noun.
Comptrollers.
Okay. I like your strategy here. This is going to read very interestingly. I need an increment of time.
Oh, seconds.
Yes. I need another plural noun.
Kitties. Because I see, does everybody say kitties on the show because you have kitties?
No.
Okay.
Oh, because of my background? I love it though. No, keep kitties because it makes me happy. I always forget it's up. My background has kitties on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
Do you have any cats? Oh yeah, I saw one walking back there a while ago.
Dogs, 2 dogs.
Oh, that was a dog? I gotta learn my
He
animals.
looks like the mixture between a cat, a spider monkey, and a miniature potbelly pig.
What? It's like a kid drew a picture of a dog.
Yeah, he doesn't behave like a regular dog. So he jumps on things like a cat. He like climbs up the couch. He's crazy. I mean, he's beautiful, nice, but he acts like a cat.
Okay.
Even does that paw licking.
Have you done Google cat and see if you have a cat?
Google cat and see what they're in charge of.
While you're doing that, think of a body part. I need one of those too.
Earlobe.
An adjective.
There's no clear answer for what does a cat do, by the way. Adjective is stealthy.
Occupation.
Waitress.
A number.
10.
A noun.
Turkey.
Excellent answer. It just fits perfectly there. An adjective.
Hot. I'm thinking of food, aren't I?
No, this is perfect. It's like you're reading over my shoulder. A celebrity.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, he's one of my favorites. I follow him on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
I need another body part.
Big toe.
A year.
1985.
A crime. A movie quote.
Make my day.
We have a story.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, this is so exciting. This is a story. I wrote this specifically for you, and it's called Vote for Mary Mack.
Yes.
This is your official campaign blurb so far. Vote for Mary Mack. Mary Mack is running for comptroller in charge of agriculture and comptrollers for the state of Wisconsin. All seconds long, she has been knocking on kittens and shaking earlobes with her friends and neighbors to raise awareness about the upcoming election and the issues that matter most to her.
Yeah, just like Carol Burnett. I do the Carol Burnett shake.
Mary Mack believes in lowering taxes for the stealthy. She believes in helping out the essential workers like the doctors, nurses, and waitresses.
Nice, that's true.
Yeah, she has a 10-part plan for education that doesn't end until every child has access to a working turkey. Until every child has access to a working turkey and a hot teacher.
No child left behind, and that includes working turkeys and hot teachers.
She's running against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who may talk a big game, but talks out of both sides of his big toe, and in 1985 was arrested for a bank heist. So vote for Mary Mack, because her motto is, make my day.
Kristin,
Thank you so much for talking to me all day. Like, I appreciate it.
you're a favorite in this household. You don't even know it. Probably a lot of households are like, "Oh, Kristin Key's coming," but you know,
Aw.
you don't ever hear that. So we look forward to your touring again, and then also, if we all decide not to tour because we've become healthier living at home instead of on the road, that's okay too. Anyways, thank you so much, Kristin. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm really glad we got to do this today. You're one of my favorite people. Like, you cross my mind a lot, and so I've been looking forward to this a lot. I'm glad. We got to have a chit chat.
Same here. I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really done many podcasts, so I just was like,
well, you should. You're really fun.
Do this one. So.
Yeah.
It's cool. Thank you. Have a good, happy election, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Mary.
Bye.
Big thanks to Mary Mack for being on the show and for telling us all about the rural mind and all about how many porta potties you can have per acre in Wisconsin. That's really important. Guys, thank you so much for listening. One more time, please like, subscribe, and follow on however you're listening. Find me online. It's KristinKey.com. The podcast is KristinKnowsBlank.com. You can email us right from there. Let me know if you have any topics that you'd like to talk about, any questions for the show. If you have a question, I'm going to read it right there on the show and try to answer it or find the answer. And guys, as always, thank you for listening. And until next time, bye.
We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna talk to some people, gonna learn a lot of stuff. 'Cause Kristin